The writing's incredible. Kobi is obviously an incredible writer and director. I had actually workshopped this script with him 3 years ago, I believe, at the Sundance Labs. And what really struck me about the film was that it was a film commenting on race, commenting on film. Do you know what I mean? It twisted this cinematic trope towards racial commentary, which I thought was something that hadn't really been done before. Yeah, and when I met him, we obviously instantly connected. I often say he's older me because we look a lot alike, and we have a lot of similar experiences. And then after that intensive of workshopping the script, I went over to his house a couple of times to workshop scenes here and there, and I gave my opinions about the character and what I thought might help improve the story arc. And although Kobi has this really clear vision about what he's making, he's incredibly receptive to outside opinions. And he's all around great guy. And then we didn't, COVID happened. We didn't really talk that much. And then I get a call from him 3 years later, and he's like, "Come do my film." And I was like, "Okay, I miss you, buddy." Yeah. This film is about Aren, who is a yarn sculptor down on his luck, who gets indoctrinated into the Society of Magical Negroes, which is an organization that has bestowed upon themselves the responsibility of keeping white people across America happy under this noble dogma that if white people are happy, black people will suffer less. Yeah, there you go. I'm so grateful for this project and to Kobi for writing this character, because I think it's dug up all of my own insecurities and forced me to confront them and to confront the way that I move about the world. And I don't know if I would have done that without doing this project. My philosophies have shifted, and that's more than I could have asked for. That hasn't happened on most projects I do. This one has been a real therapy session.
Not in Jurassic World?
Yeah, no. Not particularly, no. Humor is a universal language, and I think it's imperative towards bridging gaps between perspectives. But at the same time, it's such an effective tool in healing. And I think that when you tell your story through the means of healing a community, there is this byproduct of empathy from people of different experiences. And that's a win-win, You make a movie to highlight an issue that you and other people like you are struggling with, and just through speaking your truth, which often involves humor, other people they finally get it, and they heal themselves. She's such a knockout talent. She's one of the first things I remember her saying in the chemistry read that we did together. Kobi was like, "Tell us a bit about yourself," and she was like, "I'm a waitress trying to be an actress." And I loved that so much because, one, we've all started from somewhere, and two, it just spoke to her passion about what she does. She's like, "I'm gonna do this, and I will do whatever I need to survive, but this is what I want to do." And on set, she brings that same passion. She cares about the craft and cares about storytelling, and has such a hunger for truth. And I identify with that, And on top of all that, she's hilarious, which is definitely a plus. I know how to knit now. It's great. I love puzzles, and to me, knitting is a lot like a puzzle where you learn the terminology, and then when you get a pattern, it's just putting all those pieces together. I knew I had to knit on camera, so I wanted to make sure I looked like I knew what I was doing. But now I knit on set all the time in my green room, and while I'm waiting for setups, I'm just knitting. It's better than just scrolling on your phone and burning your eyes.
Are you making outfits for family members and stuff like that?
Full outfits, full yarn outfits. That'd be perfect. No, but I made Kobi a scarf as a start gift. And then I made 2 pot holders, and then now I'm making a beanie, and that's it.
I love it.
Always crack a joke and then move ahead. It eases things. Also, I think it's necessary in the darkest of times. A joke, sometimes very inside, you know, at a funeral or something. It really is, it's necessary for the human existence. His calm, and that is very rare because directors are under so much pressure. I could never be a director. I mean, I directed a couple things. It's too much. Seriously, what color are the shoelaces? Do you want them, should they be distressed? Should they be bigger? Should they be high tops? We have an extra pair of dark blue socks. Can the lead wear, you know, every aspect, you have to have answers. It takes an incredible amount of energy. You have to have talent, you have to have vision, you have to be a general, you are the leader, you are the coach, you are leading a group of disparate professionals. And it's like contractors, if you've ever redone a house. And if there is no contractor, then everybody's putting the window where they want it. You know, and so it really does require leadership, and the tone of the director sets the tone for the shoot. So the director is very cranky, angry, belligerent, all of which, by the way, Kobi was. You know, that affects us. We're like shipmates, you know, so it's a really important role. He takes you on a trip. I mean, it's really quirky and out of the ordinary love story. As I said, there's fantasy there, and humor, and just, it goes down a different road. My team said, look, we're gonna send you this script, and that usually ends in disaster. Well, I didn't. You know, when you read a script and it's bad, that's like meeting someone who says, everyone says I look like you. And you're like, really? That is upsetting. Yeah, that and blind dates. I have the perfect girl for you. And it's like, you're like, whoa, oh my God, that's it? That's what you think? Yeah, so that's what I think. But it was a pleasant surprise. It was really well written. And it was a great role. I mean, it was a great role. I mean, his writing is really wonderful. And I didn't ever, even though we improvise sometimes, his writing is there. I don't really feel a need to, I just rework this. Like bending steel, you know, like smelting, like I'll put a stamp on it. You're in the area, but I'll make it good. No, I didn't. That makes my job much easier, where I can just do my thing.
It was very funny immediately. When I read it, it seemed pretty thoughtful, pretty relevant. I don't know that I've really read anything similar to it. Yeah. And I think my role, like Lizzie, the character, she stood out to me pretty immediately, because it's hard for me to find roles that I guess I feel like someone wrote this for someone like me. Usually it feels like there's a little more imagination that has to happen, but it felt really, I resonated a lot with the characters. I do think there's this belief she holds on to, which is like, if I do go the extra mile, I know I have to work harder than everybody else to be recognized, but if I just work as hard as possible, even if I'm not seen as an equal, I'll be able to elevate myself to a point where I'm getting to have more autonomy and more control over my life. I think they're both very sensitive people, and so it's maybe one of those moments where you kind of you feel right away someone else is also sensitive, and you can connect kind of quickly. So I think they have that initial meeting. They end up working together in a corporate office, which is a pretty loaded environment, and that they can't really be themselves around each other. I think, yeah, they have to be professional. So I think they find moments throughout the film to connect, and it's clear that they have something special, but they've got a lot of obstacles between them. Humor, to me, especially the way it functions in this script, is it's essentially a way of representing pretty specific experiences that don't even always feel like satire to me. But it's kind of like taking a spoonful of sugar with medicine, where it kind of, I think it presents a more comfortable medium for just for an audience to listen to relate to. Justice is amazing. Justice is very easy to fall in love with on screen. So he's kind of, this is not his first movie at all. So he's been not like fully taking me under his wing, but he's answered some questions for me, and I feel very looked after.
I love this script so much. I mean, I love that it, touched on these heavier themes about race, but also had elements of a romantic comedy, a full-on comedy, a sci-fi movie. It just had everything, a bunch of different genres together, but still had its own unique voice, and I think that's what really stood out to me. What I loved about Jason is that he is, he might think he is a hero. He's not a hero, and he's really oblivious to that. And I really like characters that are complicated in that way and think they're right and are not. And when they're met with any sort of resistance, they're almost confused by it because they have been told they're great their whole life, and it's really confusing. And I thought that was such an interesting character to play, like not a hero. Jason has not opened up to many people, and he's got his guard up and this kind of facade of masculinity that he is trying to project in the corporate world to survive. And I think when he opens up to Aren, it's kind of like the first time he's done that, and he really shares a moment with him. So I think he kind of becomes codependent with him throughout the movie, in a little bit of an unhealthy way, because he's just never opened up. Jason is definitely succeeding off of other people's work, but he's unaware that he's taking all the credit for it, and I definitely think that he is unaware of his privilege, and when he has to reckon with it, it confuses him, and he meets it with aggression. And I think that can happen sometimes when people should really just listen. They double down, or they don't like that feeling of being uncomfortable, so they don't want to stay in it. And I think that's detrimental if you keep pushing, and all you have to do is just listen and, try to do better. He really opens up to the idea of being with Lizzie, or wanting to be with Lizzie, when he realizes that he can maybe benefit from it in a way, like whether he knows it or not. He's like, I like this person, and it's like, you might only like that you're competitive with her, and you might be better together. So I'm unsure if he's really in it, or if he can even feel that in his aggressive state. So I don't know if he really is in it for the right reasons. For me, comedy has always been an access point for everything, you know, and I think when people use humor to tell you about their identity or their struggles, it just makes it, you're able to relate to it immediately with a laugh. They're eliciting a response in you that is like, we're all the same. We all feel certain things, even if they're different. Laugh with me. And I think it really takes people's guards down, and you're able to learn in a way that you don't realize you're learning. And you're like, oh, wow, that changed my point of view completely because I was brought to it with laughter. And I love it. I just love humor so much. I love humor so much. It's not like a robot. I can't believe he hasn't directed a ton before. He's so good at it. I think one of the things that makes him so good at it is he is a performer himself, an actor himself, comes from a comedy, live performing background, and he's able to immediately just relate to you as another performer in that way, and it really makes it easy for him to just come in and deliver a note that you get immediately, or a different way to come into a scene. And he really helps you, he ushers you into a lot of times he helps you find it yourself. He'll just you'll talk for a second, question it, and he'll guide you into a direction that I'm sure he's fully aware of. He's like, I need to get this person over here. I need to get Tarver to do this, and I need to walk him there. And he's very, very good at it. And he's also just a delight. Like, the set is always so fun. He's always coming in with a smile. There's never a, ugh, here comes Kobi. No, it's like, oh, great, here comes Kobi. It's amazing. He's great.
When I initially read the script, I just really liked it. I thought it was a really interesting idea because we all know the trope of a magical Negro in a movie or a TV show who is guiding the white lead to their dreams while they're like in the corner being like, I'm happy and humble and just want to help. So I just really like the idea of seeing those people. I thought it was so smart, and then the jokes were really funny. And I didn't know if it was gonna be like, broad or like really like small and nuanced, and we're playing with all the tones and stuff. So like, I can't wait to see how it turns out because it's so much fun. I've had so much fun playing. Dee is fucking fierce, okay? Dee is the head of this society. Dee is a boss bitch. Dee is fun. Dee is like, she's severe, but also has this like softness to her. And I just like read it and really fell in love with it. And then we got talking about the costumes, and I was like, yes, she gets to wear sequins and glitter and sparkles. I'm in. You heard right, I fly. I'll tell you something. It's insane. They put you in a contraption, and then they go, the more uncomfortable you are, the safer you are. And you're like, that can't be right. But they are right. I have bruises on my back and a little bit on my ribs, and then like on my arms. But that being said, well-earned bruises. I looked amazing. My friend Aren, who's also in this, I think he plays Kwame, he was taking videos and pictures, and I like got home and was like, oh my God, she can fly. I feel like Dumbo, Elephants don't fly. Big bitches don't fly. This was a dream come true. I had not met Kobi before. We met on a Zoom. Have you ever heard of Zoom? Became very popular in 2020. But he was on, I think, location or like coming from a scout or something. So he was just like kind of frazzled, but that's what it is. Directing is like a huge undertaking. And we had like a lovely conversation about what we thought the tone was gonna be and how we thought Dee was gonna be. And then I haven't had a director send me storyboards before, but like that was super helpful. And it just showed how prepared and how invested he was. And it's always nice to work with someone who like really believes in their vision and is working really hard on their vision. Because I've worked with directors who are just like, nah, try it again. But like, he'll say something and then go, does that make sense? And then lets me take a minute to just kind of digest it, and then try to do the note or try to add something that I want. It's like a nice conversation. So like, honestly, it's only been one day, but it was a lovely fucking day. As a comedian, I don't know if I've broken any barriers using my comedy, but like, I do like to talk about really sad things sometimes and infuse it with humor, because life is kind of sad if you think about it. And I think laughter is the best medicine. I sound so corny right now, but it's a saying that's been around for a really long time, and I think it's true. I hope industry people watch this movie. People who write scripts watch this movie. And when they write a character, it doesn't necessarily have to be a white person with like a black best friend who's like, you go girl, I'll wait here for you, but you live your life. You know what I mean? I hope white writers find a little bit more inclusion in their writing. And if it's like you don't understand that person's experience, you can write a script, hire a black person, then just ask them their opinion. You know what I mean? And then be like, is this line truthful to like what you think the character would be? And have a dialogue and like be open with it. So yeah, I hope that we don't have to have a magical Negro trope in many more movies. I hope maybe we get like a magical white trope where it's a white person who's like, I have an idea. And it's like, well, I'll listen to you. You've succeeded for a long, long time.
I'll say one thing quickly. We've worked with a lot of first-time filmmakers, and there's nothing that's first-time about Kobi.
Yeah, he approaches everything very collaboratively, very practically. He's, obviously creative rules the roost, but he has approached everything with like an open mind about what actually works and what gives him the most options to make his movie. So from start to finish, yeah, he has not felt like a first timer. And I think, his background and being around in this world for a long time really shows itself in how he works with actors and how he works with producers and the crew, just like consummate professional, and very just open to bringing the best team around him and not, sort of owning everything just as a director, but really feeling like making everyone feel like they're a part of the team has shown itself, and that's how he's gotten such an amazing crew around him. For an unknown director, it's sort of astounding how he's been able to surround himself with that group. It is the literal sort of personification of the trope of a magical Negro that appears in film, television, and novels, where there is sort of a secondary black character to a white protagonist who has no backstory, no sort of agency, but is there just to serve the white protagonist storyline. So in this American society of magical Negroes, this society has come to life, and there is a place where Black Americans can go to become gainfully employed and get magical tools and skills that they can use for their white clients. And the white clients are out in the world sort of not knowing that this society exists or that these folks have magical powers. Our protagonist, Aren, becomes employed by the society and is recruited, and through that process gains these magical powers, but comes to realize that he's deserving of his own sort of personal story, and he should be the protagonist of his own life, and goes after sort of the girl in the world of the romantic comedy. It's just a classical love story, but with the underbelly of a real sort of commentary on society and race and America.
Everything that he brings to the role has been fantastic. Seeing him and Kobi together has been incredible, and their chemistry together. I mean, it feels like he's been involved with this for a long time. So when he started, it's like he had a real history with the project, which is nice.
Yeah. And Justice has this phenomenal spirit, too, that really extends throughout. I mean, he's with us every day, which is so important when you're casting that role, because they're going to help set the tone, too, for a lot of the production. And he is just, like, so fun, so inviting to everyone, has the most infectious laugh of anyone on set.
The
loudest laugh. It's hard not to want to laugh with him. So yeah, he's just been such a great presence too for the production.
Yeah, so warm. Yeah, she's our discovery, which we were thrilled to discover. It's such a huge win.
And did you audition a lot of female actors?
We did. Yeah, we did. We auditioned a lot, and her audition stood out from day one. And Kobi always gravitated to her. We talked through a bunch of different ideas, obviously throughout the process, as you do. But yeah, she she stood out from day one, and her audition was fantastic, and casting loved her, Jeannie McCarthy and Nicole. You know, the studio loved her. Like, we all felt that excitement for her audition, and they work so well together. They have such beautiful chemistry. So, yeah.
She plays sort of like the grand priestess, if you will, of the society, and she gets to levitate, and her magical powers are off the charts. And she's very disappointed when her sort of subjects don't do as they are told. So she got to play sort of a larger-than-life character, and got to do lots of fun things, and really brought like all of that Nicole energy to her role. And so we were thrilled to have her, and we needed someone who could really command a large group of people and really embrace that. And she did that, and we're so happy with her performance and can't wait to see the final product.
And it's the second time we worked with her.
Yes.
Which is great.
In our industry, our content that we ourselves have made and our colleagues and peers have made has perpetuated the stereotype of the magical Negro. So this is kind of our opportunity, I think, to make something that counteracts that, hopefully a little bit, and recognizes that some of our favorite films coming up and growing up have sort of been guilty of this sin. That doesn't make them necessarily bad movies. It's just a complicated sort of reckoning of what we all grew up watching and reading. And so hopefully this can sort of fall into the canon of things of trying to do better going forward.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and comment on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released.